Cinema Swirl! The body of Christ is often represented as bread and the blood as wine. It's episode number 39. Hello, it's me, Catholic cowboy Kevin Mahan, saddling up through the corridors of Hollywood, all through the sequels to this very special episode of Cinema Swirl, where I'm joined, as always, by my OTP, who's not seen any of them sequels, Sam Chaplin.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm alright, thank you. I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, are you excited to record the sequel to Cinema Swirl at last?
Yes, I'm glad we're getting launched on Cinema Swirl 2.0.
Yeah, I figured so, you know.
Highly anticipated. It's been a long time in the making. But luckily we've produced Cinema Swirl 3, 4 and 5 at the same time as making 2.
Often people get a bit confused about the naming and the numbering of classic films, and people have thought, well, why did you wait 39 episodes to actually officially unveil the sequel? Because Cinema Swirl already has, 38 installments, which is pretty good for a franchise.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for just a revamp. On that note, if we were to revamp Cinema Swirl, who would you replace us with? What young, hot, up-and-coming actors or stars or musicians could be filling these boots here?
Mayo and Commode.
Yeah?
But Commode doing an Irish accent badly? I don't know.
Yeah, because, that's basically all I do, is I just do a really bad Irish accent.
No,
It's a serviceable Canadian accent and a terrible Irish accent is what we've actually got here.
I don't know who would be a good Cinema Swirl, the new generation host. I'm not sure.
Yeah?
You know what, Kevin? I think we are the unique ingredient that makes Cinema Swirl special.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
true.
If we're out the door, then so is Cinema Swirl as a whole. As great a concept as it is...
When you've got a gruesome twosome that everyone connects with like us, you can't just replace them. That's why some of the worst Laurel and Hardy movies were the ones where they replaced them with Baldwin twins. That was just a terrible run. Real dark period of the 1950s that people don't like to talk about, when it was, instead of Laurel and Hardy, it was Baldwin and Baldwin, and it didn't really sit well with anyone, least of all Laurel and Hardy themselves. Oh, actually, no, I do have a revamp in mind. When you and I, right, when we're dead and we're all skeletons with long beards, I am officially giving my permission for the ghastly ghouls at Disney to bring us back as CGI spirits.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I like that. And, whoever's left kicking around in the podcast network, they can cart us out, for this ghoulish display, and ghost holograms of Kevin and Sam trapped forever. And Sam will see all the movies, but he'll never have seen any of the films. And that will be the real true irony of it all. Sorry, you can't bring back holograms without it escalating into a Twilight Zone Black Mirror type of situation. What's going on? Sam, we're in a little bit of a sequel-y mood today as we're looking at Rocky 2, the highly successful sequel to Rocky 1, a.k.a. the first Rocky movie.
Yeah.
And before we get into all of that jazz, I think it's time that we dip our toes into the sequel to the mailbag.
Okay, welcome to Mailbag 2.
The bag just got full.
This...
I want all the sequel segments to have taglines, okay?
Yeah.
So Mailbag 2.
The bag is full.
The bag is full. And they're taking Facebook messages as well now.
So all of these messages this time, because the bag is full, have come in from facebook.com /
The bag is full.
have come in from facebook.com / Cinema Swirl.
Yeah, Sam, you got these people out here. They're pessimists. They're optometrists. And they kind of say, oh, the glass is half empty and the glass is half full. But over here in Cinema Swirl 2.0, that is, we just think that the bag is full.
Okay.
That's facebook.com / Cinema Swirl.
Thank you. You were leaving me hanging there. If you do want to send in an email anyway, send it in to cinemaswirl2. No, don't do that.
No, don't. No one told me there would be social admin involved with this sequel revamp.
Right, Cinema Swirl.
I'm resetting the universe. Get rid of the CGI. All the do-bags. Get them back to the ranch.
So, if you've got an email, send it in to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. The bag is full.
Facebook message comes in from Chris Lynch, and he asks, are there any average films, ones that are not absolute classics, that you just really enjoy?
Oh, yes.
Any alright films that are not acclaimed, but you love.
I mean, I would hazard a guess that some of the movies which I hold very, very near and dear to me, upon the critical lens of a rewatch, may transpire to be just rather average movies. Right. But, you know what? Honestly, I think average movies serve a very, very important purpose because, it's not every time you want to watch a big, mind-blowing, attention-sapping, total fucking, all-encompassing disaster like that. Sometimes it wants to be just something that's just good enough that it holds your attention and bad enough that you can chuckle at a little bit and not take it too seriously. The Perfect Host, starring David Hyde Pierce. It's one of those great movies where the director also does the music because he's really hoping this movie will get his EP off the ground. Fabulous movie. Absolutely quintessentially average, but again, a great average watch. I would say, you know what? A lot of the Marvel movies, and I'm a Marvel freak, but a lot of the Marvel movies are straight up average.
All right, yeah.
Thor 2 is the most average way to spend 2.5 hours of your life, and I have spent it as such. So yeah, average movies for the win. There's got to be some 3-star bangers out there in your life, Sam, surely now.
Yeah, I think so. I you know what I have a fondness for? Is like modern American comedy movies, because like just generic summer. Here's a comedy movie that's all right enough.
Meet the Oopie Doops, like,
There's one. There was one with like Bryan Cranston and James Franco called Why Him, and it's rubbish. But
sorry. What was the fucking working title for that one? I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, come on. Of all the titles to give a movie with James Franco at modern times, why him? Like, or Not Again would have been another good title for that. Or working title, For Fuck's Sake Already.
And it was pants, but I've watched it twice in my life now, which is more than I can say about most of the films we've watched for Cinema Swell. Also things like Fist Fight with Charlie Day and Ice Cube, I think.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Lucky Number 11, there's a thoroughly fun 3-star classic.
I've heard a lot of people really love that film.
Yeah, Joe the intern, who made me watch it recently and was incensed that the film title Lucky Number 11 was kind of an in-joke with me and some folks because it just seemed to be the most unwieldy phrase to put on the title of a movie ever. And it, it had that working against it, don't get me wrong. And I didn't take the movie seriously for around 40 minutes, but then it gave way to a solid 3-star classic.
Is that the one where the L is a 7?
It is.
In the DVD.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It details the events of 9/11. It's a very harrowing movie, and...
Jesus. Right.
Oh, I challenge anyone as well, any of our listeners, to send a sequel to any of your messages you have sent us before, and just go back into your Gmail or your email account, any sort of email account really you sent from. Find it, and send the follow-up. And if you have had your question read out on this show, all the more reason too. So we'll get our sequels in.
This question comes in from Taz McPherson. He says, are there any places you live/have lived where famous films were shot? Now, I've got an answer for this.
Oh, I know you do. You've got a banging answer for this. Is there anywhere that I've lived or lived near where they... Oh, actually, yeah, they did a really shitty biopic of Prince William, I believe, in my school back in Dublin, and all the people in my brother's year all got to be extras because they're all like the age which he was meant to be. So they basically had to use our study hall for a couple of scenes. So we had to study in our rooms that night. We had to study on our beds that night instead. Oh. So, because the Hollywood movie was in there. And you think how that comes across to an Irish Catholic boarding student?
Were they filming boarding school scenes there?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The monarchy have to come in and shoot their Hollywood movie. The king and queen of Hollywood are coming in here now, so they are. Disgraceful. Disgraceful.
My answer to this is that, and I don't want to be too specific about where I live, but by explaining this, I mean, you'll be pretty close.
Oh,
so I live near
my famous postcode is
a place called Woollerton Park, which contains Woollerton Hall.
Which, by the way, I'm just saying that is totally where, like, the Dursleys live in fucking... like
100%.
The name. Like, Privet Drive out the wazoo, that name there.
Yeah. Woollerton Hall.
What?
I live near there. Woollerton Hall was used as the location for Wayne Manor in The Dark Knight Rises. Not The Dark Knight.
Okay, so when they're rebuilding it.
Yeah, the new one. And so while they were filming it, they brought in a big truck full of, equipment and all that sort of stuff and set dressing and things like that. And that crashed into this really old wall that surrounds this lovely house.
In fairness, though, Batman usually leaves a trail of destruction in his way, does he not,
It was quite authentic, but there's a whole day near my house where there was just a truck crashed into a wall and they're having to try and dig it out. It was very fun.
Did they use the Bat Digger?
At that time, because, famous people like Christian Bale and, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine were all said to be filming
and
around
also
here.
Michael Bain was there as well.
Michael Bain was there, breathing really weird.
Yeah. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
There we go.
There we go. We managed to mash it up, baby.
There were all sorts of rumours that like Morgan Freeman was down our local pub, or that Anne Hathaway was in the gym near where we live. I don't know how much any of that was true.
Yeah, because if anything, Hathaway, who's she's an absolute tornado, that woman. She was down necking pints, where Freeman was just actually trying to get some calisthenics in,
Yeah.
Seriously, Anne Hathaway, the thirst on her, she might as well have been pouring the drink down the toilet. It was going into her so fast.
Absolute legend. Complete sesh queen. Loves it. So, my dad used to go and try and peek over the wall and see what was happening while they were filming.
And that's actually handy, because your dad is quite tall, isn't he?
He is quite tall.
And when you're tall, you can peek over fences. It's a great feeling.
And he could see some gravestones being set up there, which at the time was a spoiler. And when he tried to get a photo of the gravestones, and we considered selling it to, spoiler websites and things like that, but
wow, look at you actively participating in Hollywood sabotage.
I know, but we had good morals and we didn't do it, but someone else did, and it was leaked early. But those gravestones, so the place where Batman is buried, spoiler alert.
What?
I will edit that the other way around. Was where I had my first kiss with one of my former partners, was pretty much bang on where Batman's gravesite was.
So are you telling me that that's quite a villainous thing to do? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's some Joker Harley Quinn level shit of having a kiss on Batman's grave.
We kissed on Batman's grave in the past? I don't know. We did it preemptively.
And then did you pick up dirt from his grave and rub it in your mouths in a sensual manner?
We were time traveling Gotham goths. Just,
G squared over here, Gotham goths.
Yeah, so that's my claim to fame in
Fabulous.
terms of my local area. They still screen Dark Knight Rises quite a lot there to try and, rake a bit more cash out of.
They're still trying to raise up the money for the wall that they destroyed.
Yeah. Okay, we've got one more question here, which is from Kevin Poole. I think Kevin Poole has asked a question before, but here's another Poole question.
Cool first name.
Yeah.
Or should I say Poole first name?
Let's dip back into the pool.
He sounds like one pool dude.
Has Sam started watching newly released movies that people say are great, or has the whole show been in vain? The answer to that question is the whole show has been in vain, because I have not really kept up with promising new releases as far as I'm aware.
That's the thing, right? Everyone thought you were, but then people forgot that you worked in a cinema for a bit.
Now I'm out of the cinema. It's game over. I've not really kept up with the, highly critically acclaimed new releases, but the most recent thing I saw at the cinema was Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you seen it?
I've heard nothing but shockingly poor things.
It was...
And that's something for a movie that, I don't even care that much about Queen, Yeah. I know Freddie Mercury's a very important figure for a lot of people. Couldn't tell you two things about him. Great mustache, though. Yeah. I personally wasn't offended when Electric Six danced on his grave. I didn't see what the big whoop was about.
That was a big controversy at the time, wasn't it?
A big he was dancing on the man's grave. But even with all those rock bottom, I don't really care, no standards, I still feel somehow personally cheated by that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I read a review that said it was Queen's Wikipedia page, the movie, which was very accurate.
All we hear is citation needed.
Yeah.
Citation goo-goo.
It was this happened, then this happened, and it was just the most... There was one moment which I want to explain to you, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but I need to tell someone this, because it upset me so much. Now, Mike Myers is in the movie. Okay?
Sounds cool.
He plays a record executive at EMI. He's the big boss.
That sounds shagadelic.
Yeah, he's the big record label boss, right? And Queen are trying to convince him to put Bohemian Rhapsody out as the lead single from their new album, okay? And he wants it to be a song called I'm in Love with My Car. Now, at one point during this scene where Queen are arguing for Bohemian Rhapsody and he's arguing for this other song, Mike Myers says, we need a song that the kids will play in their cars and bang their heads to. And you wouldn't get that with Bohemian Rhapsody. And he may as well just have then looked in the camera and be like, because I'm Mike Myers and I was in Wayne's World and do you remember we did that?
Yeah, and then the next scene, he's like, hey, Queen, you know that new sound you're after? Well, dig this. Da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da.
But other than that, I can't really remember the last thing I saw at the cinema. I've not really watched much quality stuff.
I think people have been led down the primrose path to an extent there, Sam, because that's kind of like, you know, when I was working in a telemarketers briefly, I could say, I'm doing a lot more telemarketing now.
Yeah.
Now that I work in a telemarketers.
Yeah.
So you watching new releases was probably more because it was part of your job.
I think in general, though, if I watch really good films now, that rules them out of later swirls years down the line.
That's true.
I'm future-proofing that shit by not watching the good stuff. I consciously don't watch classic films, by the way. If they're ever on, I now avoid them deliberately.
Well, you know, I hope you would.
You would hope
it's one of those things
but...
I view that as like brushing your teeth. It's none of my business, but you better do it, and I hope you do. You know, because if not, you and me and the dentist are going to have some words, if you see what I'm saying.
But I don't know if part of that unspoken agreement is don't watch the good stuff now even. Like, don't really go out of your way to watch...
Well, it's difficult because like I was very happy when you went to see Force Awakens and stuff like that, because I thought that's kind of the point of this movie is that you could then go and have experiences like that. So I think it's still important for, I guess, franchises. I mean, like... When they go back into, you know, Tolkien universe, you'll obviously be able to go in there with a firm footing.
Don't remind me.
Oh, come on now. I mean, I think everyone's ready for
the Cinema Swirl audience.
I think the Cinema Swirl audience is ready for a post-Brexit Tolkien universe expansion. I'm just saying, you know. Sam, the movie du jour on tap today, Rocky 2. Rocky, one of my all-time favourite movies, and an early fave on Cinema Swirl. And anytime anyone says, hey, you don't do no romantic movies on Cinema Swirl, I point them in direction of Rocky, the greatest love story ever told. Honestly, that movie spurned on like a rekindling of my Rocky fandom when we did it for Cinema Swirl. I've watched it 2 times since.
Oh, okay.
And I was wondering if you recall any of the details of Rocky 1 and where we're up to and what you think is going to happen in Rocky 2. Now, catch the people up. Were you a fan of the first Rock?
A few days ago, I started listening to episode 11 of Cinema Swirl, which was Rocky, but I didn't get to the Star Wipe rating. But it sounded like I was enjoying it. I think I did.
I think that was a 4. If I recall, that was a solid 4.
I remember being a hoot and a holler. It was a fun movie. I got very invested in it.
Yeah.
I remember I should have broke your thumbs.
I should have broke your thumbs.
Credits roll.
What else happened to Rocky in that movie?
Shall we do a little recap? A Rocky recap? We'll go back down Rocky Road.
Oh, you know whether there's so many potholes because we can't stop eating it.
Yeah, right. So
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road. So Rocky lives in Philadelphia. He's a bit of a shit boxer, right? He's an amateur boxer. He's not very good. He's known as the Italian Stallion, right? And well, at the start, he kind of sparks up a little romantic relationship with a woman called Adrian.
Yes, who you thought was a pal at the start.
Yeah, just a good mate called Adrian. Mate Adrian. Not
easy
true.
deception.
Not the case. Yeah.
That's what we like to call soft deception in the business.
That's going on. That's bubbling up. At the same time, Apollo Creed is a famous boxer. Big, good boxer. The best boxer ever, right? Really good.
He's a caliber of boxer who will wear an overcoat over his shoulders and then use his hands to gesticulate still.
Yeah. He's very charismatic, very talkative, very, big business, showbiz man.
He's a shiny man and a very well-dressed man is Carl Weathers. Always immaculately dressed with lovely jewels.
Now, his opponent drops out. And so, in trying to find a replacement, they just go, we'll just get some local lad, just some no-good schmuck.
A tomato can!
A tomato can. They get Rocky. He agrees to do it. And he starts training up, doesn't he? Starts doing the Rocky montage.
Yeah, he starts listening to Eye of the Tiger on repeat because everyone thinks that bit is set to Eye of the Tiger when it's not.
It's not. It's the...
And I'll tell you, don't eat eggs the way Rocky does because...
No,
come on.
He downs some raw eggs. And who's his trainer? Who's his trainer person?
Mickey.
Yeah. Mattress Mick.
Mattress Mick.
Basically, Rocky goes the distance in the fight in the end.
So he doesn't win.
He doesn't win, but he goes the distance.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. He said, I did it for you, Adrian, and those two mates have a great mate date later on. And that's the end of the movie. Much like Karate Kid, it's one of those movies where you get to the big climax and it fucking stops, and that's great.
That's it. It's the emotional weight of leaving on a high, and the movie does that very, very well. Now, the only person I think you missed out of there was Paulie. Do you remember Paulie?
Oh, Paulie's brother of Adrian?
Yeah.
Friend of Rocky.
In inverted commas.
Complete piece of shit. Just this horrible lech man who I think tries to get money from Rocky, or he's just a jerk, isn't he? I remember him being a jerk.
Yeah, but he's also Rocky's meat connection, which in the boxing world, you need a meatman.
Rocky likes beating the
meat. Yeah, go on, say it. Beating the meat.
He's a beef puncher.
Yeah, exactly. You know when people are masturbating, they're just like punching their penis over and over and over again in a rotating motion?
That's how I do it.
That's how we all do it, baby.
And I won't be stopped. I think that's pretty much the movie. He gets there, he stops everyone thinking he's a bum, and he's won. Well, he's not won. But
went the distance.
He's earned himself a reputation.
So, tell me then, Rocky 2, what's going to happen? Have you heard anything about what happens? And are you anticipating a similar level of quality? Because you might as well mention it here. You know, the very idea of sequels. A lot of people always say that sequels are doomed to failure. We've done obviously some sequels. You did Back to the Future 2, which I preferred, and Empire Strikes Back, which I think is still a better movie. Mm-hmm. But where do you stand on the sequels, and where do you think this one's going to go?
Well, unfortunately, having gone to the legal DVD shop, I have seen that Carl Weathers is on the cover of some versions of it.
Yeah.
So I assume they fight again.
Oh.
Even though they said there would be no rematch. I'm pretty sure they went, no rematch.
I'm pretty sure in boxing and in wrestling, if someone says no rematch, that's like a contractual verbal agreement.
But that's what Logan Paul and KSI said. And look where we are now, which is the modern Rocky. You know? So I think they're going to fight again.
Yeah.
But now Rocky is known. He's a known entity. He's a made man. He's got a good reputation. No one thinks he's just some local schmuck, some local bum.
He's not. There's something attached to that bum now. A contender.
That bum is a contender.
Exactly. That bum's a working man.
Yeah, he's a known boxer now, and I wonder whether that's going to affect his life, whether he's earned a level of celebrity, maybe. Maybe he might have to deal with the perils of public life.
Yes.
How's his relationship with Adrian going to weather that storm?
Oh, and you know what as well about this? It's very, very interesting, because when he made Rocky, old Slick Sly Stallone was only a babby. He was not particularly well known. He was low level, if anything.
Oh, is there a parallel?
I wonder if there may be. I wonder if there may be.
Because it won an Oscar. It won a bloody Oscar. The first Rocky.
People, like, the Rocky movies become a certain type of movie, but they start off as a different type of movie. And it starts off as the type of movie that wins Best Picture. I'm interested to see what you think of the sequel and where we go from there.
Did this not win Best Picture?
I mean, as far as I know, it didn't.
Okay,
but
at least not at the Academy Awards.
The level of parody to which Rocky gets to is shocking. And I don't want to spoil things for you, but I think, you know, as soon as you say Rocky, people will bring that up. Right. Like any franchise that goes that long is going to have that issue at one point.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see, because, you know, if this one holds up, the last time I watched Rocky, it completely reinvigorated my love of the franchise.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm quite excited about watching this. I think you'll like it.
Was Paulie still alive at the end of the last one?
Yes.
Yeah, he's still knocking about.
He didn't die of loneliness or anything like that.
That's what I hoped. Maybe there'll be some scrolly text at the start where it's like, Paulie's dead.
Paulie died of loneliness.
Paulie went back to his home planet.
Oh, man. Well, Sam, we've talked all about the sequel, so let's go do a Cinema Swirl sequel. Or should I say, it is the sequel to us being back. They're back again. Oh, yeah. And they're back for more again. We're back again after Rocky 2, Electric Boogaloo. We start things off with the incredibly emotional end of Rocky 1. And Sam, this had me all emotions.
Yeah.
I hate these.
Hey, yo, Kevin. Before we get into that recap, the title sequence, the title bit that comes across, Rocky in big yellow font on a black background, really reminded me of Watchmen. You know the Watchmen thing. You know that kind of colour scheme.
Yeah, no, we all want to be reminded of the Watchmen movie. Thanks very much.
I wasn't necessarily saying the movie. But
No, thanks for reminding me of the Watchmen movie. Thanks very much, Watchmen movie, for creating the stigma that Leonard Cohen songs aren't appropriate to have sex to. Thanks a lot about that, yeah? Fucking bunch of cowboys is what they are. That man, he's died for us so we could live better lives. And now no one can have sex to Hallelujah without it being weird. And that's on you, Watchmen. That's why Alan Moore was upset about it as well. Because he used to have a proper I'll go at it to that song. And now he can't anymore.
No.
Because of the movie. He can't do it anymore. I understand Alan Moore's artistic frustrations with the movie as a result. Sam, I should ask, I guess, your initial gut reaction to Rocky 2, being caught up in the whirlwind of emotions as it dares you to root for the underdog once more. Did you have a good time?
I did. I feel good, but kind of in exactly the same way I did when watching Rocky 1, you know? It feels like I've watched the same film twice, kind of.
I mean, yeah, I totally get that, and I like to imagine, and this is the issue, right, is that Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa are completely different. Sylvester Stallone, very articulate man in his own right. He designs watches and pens now, and I suggest you go, he does, and they're absolutely absurd. And there is a 9-minute video floating around. It's he had some designer in Turkey whip them up. This 9-minute proof of concept video of check out my cool new pen. It's got ink, it's got a clicky bit, it's got skulls here, it's got a gun and an eagle and a raptor. It's all fucking all sorts. He's a millennium man, Sam, is what I'm saying, alright? But Rocky 2 comes across like Rocky Balboa has made this movie. He kind of comes in and goes, hey, United Artists, you like the first movie, it had me, Rocky, that's me, Rocky Balboa, and I had a fight with, Apollo Creed, he's a big master disaster, and there was Adrian there, and and then I fight him and people don't think I can do it, but I do it. And there's a montage. It's like, okay, Rocky. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
I can see what we're doing here.
I like that we get a little reminder of what happened at the end of the last one. I think that's quite nice. Yeah, a little recap.
It's ballsy, isn't it? Considering how similar the movie is. It's yeah, come on, we know us.
Previously on Rocky.
Yeah, you're going to be back here in 2 hours' time. This exact place.
I forgot how fucked up Rocky's face got.
Oh,
I forgot that.
Oh.
Pretty convincing beat up makeup for the time, He does look beat up.
Do you think that they legitimately beat up Sylvester Stallone? Yo, Sly, they ain't buying that you got beat up in this. Well, what do you want me to do, Paulie? I think we should go back and hit you upside the head with this 2x4. Ah!
I mean, if they did, that's commitment to filmmaking and it's worked and it's very good. Sly Stallone directed this one. Did he direct the last one? I can't remember.
No, he didn't. He wrote the last one.
But now he's writing and directing.
This is what I like about these movies, is that there's serious grassroots campaigning going on. The first movie, Rocky, was written obviously by Sylvester, and he wanted to perform as Rocky, and because he was an unknown quantity at the time, and it was a script that was viewed to be quite a bit of potential, no one at the studio wanted him to be the lead, so he had to kind of go on a big kind of campaign of proving that he loved the movie and that he really believed in it and that it's, he wrote it for him to play it. And similarly, this time around, he really wanted to direct it, and he had to do a similar campaigning with the studio to kind of say, look, I know it, I know the vision I want. It's very similar to the vision of the first movie, which makes it very easy. Please let me direct it. And so, this is Rocky directing Rocky. It's good.
And the music is 5-star Bobby Dazzler once again.
Oh,
this music
God.
we get in the ambulance ride from the ring to, I guess, the hospital is fucking awesome. Like a kind of remix of the main theme.
Yeah. It is. It's 1979, which means that the likes of Bill Conti, who provides the fabulous music for this, are turning their up on their machines, which I'm very in favour of. that late 70s style. Because the Warriors came out around this time as well, Sam.
The beeps and boops are coming in.
It is.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The robots growing up out of the ground to release their alien noises. I'm a big fan of it. So, starting on the end of Rocky 1, he's knocking me for 6, and I think it makes it difficult to judge this movie. Because right at the start, they take you to that very emotional place.
They do.
And they shake you all around, and you have to see Adrian all over again. Adrian! I was close to tears. And since I watched the after cinema swirl, I cried watching Rocky. Right? I watched it with Joe, and Joe fell asleep, and I had a cry. And then she woke up and was like, "Oh, Rocky won, did he?" I was like, "No, he didn't." So why are you so sad? Like, because he's a bum. He can't win. He's a tomato can. But since then, it's been on the shelf for me as like that's the movie that made me sad.
Right.
And I'm very adamant about it being an emotional, romantic movie. And before we sat down to the movie, I spent like 10 minutes defending Rocky's romantic nature to Joe. Yeah. And as a result, I was all those feelings were bubbled to the surface, and I came close to crying again at Rocky.
Oh. Is it in particular the ending that gets you?
Yes!
The big emotional climax of it all, and the fact he goes the distance.
Yeah.
And he did it for Adrian.
And because they spent the whole movie being introverted and dumb and stupid and not being able to speak to each other, and he has the biggest moment of his life, and then all he wants to do is go, Adrian, I love you!
Yeah, it's sweet, isn't it?
It is. It makes me want to box.
Yeah.
I bet all the boxers are great lovers. I imagine Floyd Money Mayweather spends some of that money on taking his girl out for a nice dinner, huh?
I'm sure he does. Yeah, after he's let his face kind of heal up.
Yeah, whoa, $1 million baby. Well, why don't we spend some of that money and have a gay old time, huh? How about it? How about you and I paint the town red, $1 million baby?
When they get to the hospital, Rocky's back to his good old ways of cracking jokes because he's a funny guy. He's a hilarious dude. He slags off Mickey's nose. It's like, hey, how's my nose looking? Is it as bad as yours? It's classic Rocky. He's
both the most famous man in A&E and the funniest man in A&E. Which is what happened when Harry Hill had that fall and he had to go to A&E, wasn't it?
I don't want to skip ahead too far. But I don't know why, when Rocky is kind of struggling for money, he doesn't think, well, I'm a funny guy. I'm going to get on that stage, do what those comedians do some comedy. I would love a film where Rocky just goes on the open mic circuit.
Oh, man, that'd be great. And I'd like him to do maybe a serialized version of the Rocky movies that end with him doing a little set like Seinfeld. And he'd be like, do you ever notice that cows, they don't use their horns. They got bells. Funny when you think about that, huh?
Apollo really kicks things off here.
He says he's got a dual skull.
He's in the same hospital, like, challenging Rocky to a rematch straight away. And Rocky's quite right. He's saying, hey, you said no rematch. He's like, well, no, I want one now.
Tough shit, Rocky. I'm a liar. Yeah. Tell me, now, he calls him saying it's a dull skull. Was that his backup line in case smelly belly didn't come up or anything like that? Or a numb bum?
I mean, bum gets thrown around a lot later, so I think maybe they were going sparing on the bum talk to begin with.
Seriously, not since Sir Mix-a-Lot have we heard quite as much fast and loose booty chatter than we have here, as everyone and their mother is called a bum in Rocky 2. So, Rock has essentially said that he's retired, he don't want to fight no more, he got the shit knocked out of him, he's into surgery pretty much straight away, and he's high as a kite on that table as they're cutting into his eye, fixing out his nose, got a big face on him.
Yeah.
And Paulie is moving on up in the world. Looking good, looking well, Paulie.
Yeah. He's looking good, but he comes crawling along, slithering in. Asking for Rocky's old job.
Now, there's something quite low down about one, asking your friend for their old job.
Yeah.
Two, about asking your friend for an old job when you're recovering from major surgery and you may have brain damage. And three, all of those things, and the job is a fucking debt collector for a local hoodlum. I mean, come on.
But Rocky, as ever, he's a nice lad, isn't he? He's quite polite, but like, oh yeah, sure, once my face isn't all fucked up, I'll go and like put in a good word for you. I'll get you sorted.
Yeah, I'll put in a good word with the mob, like, you know. What's your stance on thumb breaking, Colin? He's signing graphs now.
This is his first autograph, and you can tell that because he says, "Oh, this is my first autograph."
That no filter has Rocky, has he?
I love him. I forgot how weird the way he talks is.
Exactly. He's so weird. I love how weird and how outwardly, like, not say shambolic, but like how readily they are going to put, like, Sylvester Stallone is writing and directing this movie and he's starring in it. He has the complete command over this and he puts himself across as being this really vulnerable, stupid guy. And I can't imagine there are too many people in Hollywood, particularly who are like big action stars, who are queuing up to look like an idiot because, you know, everyone reckoned, you know, when I was a kid growing up, I was like, oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's probably an idiot. And all these big muscle action stars like JCVD, he must be an idiot. Now we all of course know that Jean-Claude Van Damme, as well as being a sophisticated and emotionally intelligent gentleman, is also quite academic, as is Arnold Schwarzenegger. But, you know, Stallone, watchmaking aside and pen making aside, he's out in centre here saying I'm a big dum-dum, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a good character trait. He seems like a nice lad, you know?
Yeah, he's innocent.
I forgot how weird it is. Just the way he says things is kind of amazing. I love it.
He comes out of his room in the middle of the night and like creaks open the door and he's like, "Yo, Apollo, you think we'll be friends forever?" It's me. It's me, Rocky Balboa. The Italian stallion. We done had that fight last night.
What did he say to him? Did you give me your best or something like that?
Yeah, he was asking if he gave him his best.
Right.
You know, want to know if he took it easy on him or anything like that.
Right.
Which, of course, incenses Apollo, because this is the undercurrent of the movie is that
he threw the fight.
Yeah, Rocky doesn't, like, think much of what his accomplishment is, but Apollo is rattled beyond belief, and everyone's trying to get his mind off of this Rocky business as soon as possible. And Rocky's moving on up in the world. He's got endorsement deals coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And he's a bit busy. He's like, oh, you know, I'll call you. And like, oh, you ain't got your number. Like, oh, no, I'll call you. Like, hey, yo, I'll call you. I hope many endorsement deals get signed that way, when someone go, oh,
hey,
yo, Mr. Nike, I got some of them shoes you told me to promote. Yo, hashtag paid for our content. Hashtag ad.
I reckon he could be quite loud, though. So if you were, you know, a contract man waving a contract around, you could probably hear him way off in the distance and just follow the, hey, yo, and, you know, you'd know where to go. Like sonar.
We need you to initial it as well, Mr. Balboa. Oh, okay, thank you.
So he waves it off, doesn't he? He goes, no, I'll come back to you. No, I'll do that later.
Who needs money when I got friends? And got my best pal Adrian by my side. And him and Drian, they go zooing, heading off to the zoo in the snow. Are you a zoo fan, Sam?
I am a zoo fan.
Any top-notch zoos nearby or runs you'd recommend? Hearty days out?
Not necessarily nearby. I've been to Chester Zoo. That was pretty good.
That's a good zoo.
That was a
Very
belter of a zoo. And I've been to London Zoo. Is it just called London Zoo? I think so. The one in London.
See that, or it's called Diddly Doo London Zoo.
Diddly Doo, it's London Zoo. I do love a zoo. Although zoo in the snow seems like an interesting prospect. I imagine most of the animals would, in real life, be kept indoors and kept warm.
Jeez, I remember going to Yorkshire Wildlife Park in the snow, and just like seeing like the giraffes in the snow and like the tigers in the snow. It was seeing a tiger in the snow was pretty fucking incredible, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Seeing in Yorkshire as well, where they do proper food and proper gravy and proper tea, was all the better, all the sweeter, really. Also, top zoo and tip, if you do be on a zoo, Billy told me this recently, very, very good. You go around the zoo, you see all the animals, then you have your lunch, your break, and then you go backwards and you see all the animals again in case any of them have moved around. So you double zooing.
Oh, yeah.
Apply the same logic that you would to a fine art gallery.
Right, take another look. See if you missed any subtext.
You go up there, really feel the paintings, you know, give him a good smell, like.
Go to one of those petting galleries.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, stop touching the paints. Well, stop making them embossed then with loads of layers of delicious-looking paint. I'm going to touch them. I'm sorry. The same thing happens when I see Ryan Giggs' immaculately gelled head from 1997.
You want to lick it?
I have to lick it. I have to touch it.
Yeah.
Now, that didn't happen in 97, but the galleries are still there, and that's their fault. So I'll say no more. You got a bit of an awkward proposal for Adrian.
My word. This is, I think, my favourite film proposal I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Hey, so, what do you think you're doing for the next 40 to 50 years?
He's got a very accurate estimate of his lifetime.
It's both completely not smooth, and yet within the context of Rocky, it's kind of brilliant, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because like Adrian's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, I guess. What do you think about, would you mind marrying me a bit? Or something. He's like so casual about it. Yeah, all right, yeah. The thing, Adrian loves him. She does love him, and that's why this is all okay.
She says yes straight away, and I think he gives her a good indication of what married life is going to be like. He's going to be a great guy. He ain't going to leave no hair in the sink, is his main selling point here.
And that's why I'm not ready for marriage yet, because I can't make that promise. I don't think I can make that. I leave hair in sinks I've not even been to. Seriously, you check your sink now, and I know you're a ways away. There is. It is, yeah. It travels.
Boy, do I know. A thing I didn't expect here is that we cut straight to the wedding.
Yeah, it's traditional, isn't it? Yeah.
Proposal to... Oh, they're married now. Another great Rocky thing here. I think... I'm trying to put my finger on like what's so brilliant about his personality. I think he treats everything as kind of the same level of importance.
Yeah, there is no better than, yeah.
So, like, when she says, I do, he goes, oh, hey, thanks. Like she's just held the door open for him or something. It's kind of it's the same. There's a nice balance to it.
At the end of the wedding, he's like, "Oh, father, I'm proud of you. Like, you did a good job.
You done great there, father. Hey, yo."
Aww. It's a great old wedding. It's a typical Italian wedding, isn't it? You have the boxing match, the quick convalescence, and then the wedding by the Friday, and the holiday then after that. So it's a quick turnaround.
The wedding with basically no one there, which is a bit weird.
I know. Come on now, they're all there. All the gang's there.
Mick was there.
You got Paulie, you got Mick, and you got Tony from Organised Crime.
Yeah.
Who is, on behalf of Organised Crime, asked Rocky to invest his money wisely in Organised Crime.
We get a solid gag here, though, don't we?
Hashtag solid gag.
When we've got, hey, how about investing in condominiums? And Rocky looking back blankly going, oh, I never use them.
Oh.
Come on, there we go. Jokes there.
It's great, because condominium, it's a long, complicated word, much like prophylactic is. So it fits, doesn't it, I wouldn't mind living in a prophylactic apartment. That sounds like a very nice place, We could call them profos for short. We could make a bit of a killing on this.
On the way back from his wedding, carrying Adrian, I'm so glad we meet up with the street corner singers again.
Yeah.
Very tuneful.
Even more tuneful than the first movie.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've been practicing a little bit. And she's just like, hey, who the fuck's that? And he was like, oh, they're just every city has, the street corner singing boys. And I think she quite rightly is like, no, they don't. She doesn't say this, but the way she asked the question is kind of like, what's that? How does that work? Do you have singing people on the street corners in Manchester?
In Manchester? No, but remember there was that one man who came up to me and you once in Manchester and he started rapping and we were like, oh wow, this is great.
I
Street performance. And then by the time he reached the fourth verse, we felt uncomfortable to leave. It was like, okay, we're getting the EP here now.
But I don't think he was like trying to advertise anything to us.
No, he was trying to prove a point with rap and I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
Sometimes a boy just wants to rap,
Do you think he would have done that if you'd have been like carrying your newlywed wife with you and just like starts rapping?
Yeah, I imagine he would have. Maybe a special wife rap, maybe of some sort. Do you think that's like why they're leaving the neighborhood within a week or two of this? Because she's like, oh no, I ain't staying on no corner with no fucking boys singing like. Honestly, my mate of mine used to live around a place where the bottles got emptied for the big hotel in the town, and they got emptied every morning at like 4 a.m. And like, no way, ain't living there,
No.
Likewise, boys on the corner, they'd be singing at all hours.
So they get back into their like dingy little flat after the wedding night, and Rocky says something.
I think it's officially a bed sit because the bed is in the middle bit. And that is all the bit there is.
Dingy little bed sit after their wedding night. And Rocky says, you're the best thing to ever come into my crazy life. And then, literally like a couple of seconds later, he says, you're the best thing to ever come into my life. And it's kind of like he's a sort of NPC character in a video game who's got like something that they need to say, but they keep repeating it in slightly different ways.
Over and over, yeah. It's actually a hint is what's happening here, you know. This is how you solve the puzzle in the next room.
But, you know, they have a nice little smooch. They settle down on the wedding night, have some nice wedding night smoochy time.
Yeah, you kiss on your wedding night, and then it goes and just kind of, you know, does that weird transition effect.
Yeah.
So, as is tradition on the wedding night.
Now, Rocky just suddenly really gets into buying shit.
Yeah, a rock and his money are soon parted,
Yeah.
as the old saying goes. And neither a lender nor a borrower be. But I think it's because he's excited and, you know, he's in love. And he wants to buy a whole mess of presents and nice things. And I can relate to that somewhat, I think.
Well, we all like nice things.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I think Rocky might have needed to sit down with a financial advisor at first, who would have said, maybe sign some of those commercial contracts first, then buy all the nice stuff. Whereas he's gone, I'm going to be in commercials now.
Yeah, he's spending like an absolute arsehole. He buys a car that makes him look like a cock and drives it like an even bigger willy.
He drives worse than me, and that's saying something.
How's your driving?
It's alright, I don't like it. I don't like driving.
No. If you not liking driving, it's the same as you being bad at driving, though, is it?
No, I'm alright at driving. I can drive.
You know, you're not like Rocky fucking revving the arse out of it.
I'm not kangarooing the whole thing.
You're not like fucking Rocky driving the car in the way that you can taste the diesel in the back of your mouth if he's driving past you.
Well, I don't know I've not been in a fast car before. I don't know how I handled that. No, never driven a fast car.
Well, have you only been in like those kind of heavy carts? Is that it? Like a Mario Kart?
Just like a Reliant Robin that I just drive around doing wheelie deals.
Yeah, I would kind of imagine you driving a car that if a stiff breeze went past it would reveal to be a husk that you're actually pedaling, like, you know. It's not actually a real car. Rocky buys himself a cool new jacket with a tiger on the back because he's a badass.
And then wears it for the rest of the movie, which is lovely.
What makes him, he's got tiger energy now, hasn't he, you know? His problem is, Sam, is that he likes everything. You know, everything is great. Now, say what you will, people look down on being a cynical old curmudgeon and hating everything. But if you're cynical and hate everything, you will save more money than if you just love everything.
You don't buy all the random tat because you think it's nice.
Exactly. I convinced myself I don't like Papa John's.
Right.
Yeah? And that's been good for the wallet.
Yeah.
I know I love it. Obviously I do.
Yeah. It's that fucking yellow sauce, isn't it?
Yeah,
that
I just want to eat it.
Butter sauce.
Yeah.
But it's lovely. But it's all racist.
That's it. Right, literally, how many more reasons did Papa John's have to give us? Other than Papa John himself coming in here and slap me and go, what are you going to do about it? Nothing, because you're a nobody. You're a bum. And then leaving.
Now drink your damn sauce.
Yeah, and then he put my bag out on Skid Row as well.
Yeah.
If he did all that, that's maybe the last straw. What else can they do?
When they're buying a house, they go in and have a look around. And Rocky looks at everything and says everything is nice. Everything in the house. Oh, that's a nice staircase. Oh, this is nice floor. Oh, there could be a radio over there. That's nice.
They are nice, though. They're
all... It's nice. It's a nice house.
A broken clock will be right twice a day, and Rocky was on the nose when he said those were good floors.
Yeah, they were great floors, supported by steel. That's nice. He buys the house without looking upstairs, which, I mean...
Rocky! The home buying guide specifically states, check out the upstairs. There could be a picture of Dorian Gray up there. Yeah. You don't know what'll be up there.
But, you know, I wish I was as positive and just happy-go-lucky as Rocky is. I like his attitude, but it's kind of... You can see that it's going to run him into some trouble pretty quick.
Would you say you're more like Apollo, who's at his headquarters reading all the tweets from the haters?
He is reading the comments, isn't he?
I love it! You know what? The good old days when if you wanted to say something abusive and hateful to a celebrity where you had to pay postage and go to a place to send it.
I was going to say, if people had to do that, they wouldn't be so cruel. And yet, here we are. People just said, through the match, you're an idiot, kill yourself. It's basically like scrolling down on YouTube. It's basically the same thing.
Just imagine if every YouTube comment had to go through a processing centre, had to be sorted, and then resorted, and then men and women in cars had to go out and on bikes with a big old sack of them and put them in everyone's home.
One of them weed on it by accident at some point. Who knows?
At one point or another. All I'm just saying, if someone like Kevin Mann could potentially piss on it, would you be sending that hateful tweet to a celebrity?
You've got to really hate someone.
I don't think you would.
No.
I don't think you would.
But he's getting riled by it. He's biting, you know? He's feeding the trolls. It's upsetting him.
He is. He's listening to the haters, which is bad. You should not listen to the haters.
Block them out.
Don't drink the Haterade. Drink Gatorade. It's got electrolytes and fruit.
Should be great for boxers, you know? That's what they need.
Do you think many boxers get, like, much hate on Twitter these days? Like, is boxing one of those things like wrestling or being a musician or anything like that where you get a lot of shit?
I imagine there's some boxing banter going on. Something about, like, big, strong men who could beat the shit out of you, having to go at them from the, you know, safety of being anonymous. Seems quite fun.
Well, what are you going to do? Box me? Your gloves are all padded, mate. I can take it, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
That's why no one fucks with bare-knuckle boxers on Twitter. Those lads are untouchable.
Don't slag them off. But as long as they've got the big silly hands, you're fine.
It's okay. Yeah, because they'll be able to tweet back the response.
They read something bad, like, oh no, I can't.
Yo, Adrian, I tried to reply to this hater. Instead, all I did was send a bunch of globe emojis.
So Rocky's not been using his condominiums, has he? Because
he's not, because Adrian's pregnant.
She's pregnant, and yeah, I mean this is fantastic. This is good.
I've heard of pret-a-manger, but preg-a-manger, that's another thing altogether.
He's proud of her in the same way he was proud of the priest for doing the wedding well. You know?
Oh, you did it. Oh.
Hey, you did a great job. I'm proud of you. Yay.
I mean, yeah. The harder bit's coming later, Rocky, I think. You'll find. You know?
Yeah, oh, you've done it. Yay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anyone goes on about childbirth being so hard. That was easy. All we did was have sex without a condominium. I mean, what's the big whoop like?
To secure some funding for this family he's got going on, he's going to start doing these commercials. Of course he is.
He's got to sell out.
Yeah. He's doing the Go Compare ads.
Yo. For ladies who insured their cars, Sheila's wheels, they're the real superstars. Girls are gone bored beyond endurance, paying too much for their car insurance.
How do you remember this?
Come get on the Sheila's wheels, yeah. He did do an ad for Warburton's though, didn't he?
Oh shit, yeah, he did.
He did, didn't he? Warburton's with the deep pockets. Warburton's. They got Kermit the Frog. They got fucking Rocky Balboa, and yet there was a crumpet shortage this summer, 2018. Summer 2018. Never forget the CO2 shortage. It was the World Cup.
Did that affect crumpets?
It did. It meant there were no crumpets
because they can't make
can't make the aeration.
Yeah.
So there were still crumpets. Sam, don't worry. There were still crumpets up in the fucking Star Palace and the Cloud Kingdom, yeah? But then in Aldi and Lidl, the real fucking proper supermarkets where actual people shop, you couldn't get them anymore. I'm just saying, Sylvester Stallone's got blood on his hands.
Later on in this film, he literally does, but... You're not wrong. He's dressed up as a caveman.
Yes.
To advertise aftershave.
It is a bit of a mixed metaphor, though, because he's dressed up as a caveman and the ladies are dressed up as sexy safari hunters type thing. And there's like, which is it? Is it a caveman or is it on safari? You don't go on safari finding no caveman, unless it's some sort of fantastical time-travelling safari, which I very much doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the director here is kind of slagging off Rocky's acting ability in that he can't really read very well.
He's a freshly brain-damaged boxer. What do you expect? Leave him alone.
Yeah, although Smeal Mainly instead of Smell Manly is quite funny.
Yeah, and calling them cats rats, I do that all the time.
I would have kept that in and just make that the advert. Just do it like a funny outtake thing at the end of a Jim Carrey movie, and that'll sell you aftershave, you know? Have him do some origami, go, it's a goose, and then like it's perfect, you'll be fine. But he can't really do it, can he? He's not.
No, he's actually pretty shit at selling out, all things considered. And there's kind of like, with the way his voice quavers, it really underpins the lack of dignity that he has. Like, particularly when he's like, you can't do this one, let's do the backup one where you're dressed up as a boxer. We've got all the fake kind of blood and stuff on you, the fake facial bits to make it look like you're all grazed up. Go on, do it there instead. And he just gets quieter and quieter, and you can just feel the confidence ebbing away from him.
It's really quite sad, isn't it? it? And you feel for him a lot in this situation.
I think that the movie is very, very good at showing, honestly, if you are someone in that position, like a fighter or whatever, you're known for a certain thing, that, it's not necessarily a given. A lot of people are amazing at doing it, at like going from sports to doing the endorsements and whatnot, you know? Obviously, O.J. Simpson was very good at it, but that really isn't the most important thing about O.J. Simpson. I feel complimenting him for that is a disservice to what actually... But it's like, it's not that easy. And people who kind of go on sports athletes for doing the sellout, it actually takes a little bit of skill to sell out.
Yeah, and Rocky realises that pretty quick. He's wasted their time, apparently, according to the director, who's very irate, although I'm not sure...
He's not a professional.
I'm not sure his campaign was that strong. It seemed like the sort of shit they do on The Apprentice.
Yeah,
exactly. When they have to do an advertising task, and they're like, it'd be a caveman advertising aftershave. Well, that's bullshit. Alan Sugar wouldn't settle for that.
No, and then Claude cuts back and goes, there's some confusing thing going on here because he's a caveman, they're both dressed up as safari suits, and I'm not sure they understand what the actual message is for the brand here.
Yeah, I don't think Rocky was the one letting them down, but because he was the team leader and he volunteered to be in the advert, he's probably going to get fired at the end.
Exactly, yo, Lord Sugar, I'm a lot like you, I think you did real good there when you fired that guy, though,
If he goes home and he tries to improve his reading, he doesn't get knocked down by that failure. He goes home and he tries to get better.
Because he wants to let them know that, because they're making out like, oh, you're punch drunk, you're kind of, you're messed up. And he's like, no, I'm not. No. I'm not punchy, is what he says. I'm not that. I've got kind of like a sleepy brain, I guess, is what you could say. So he just wants to show that I think he knows that it upsets Adrian to see him get beat up like that, and what a beating he took the last time. And I think he wants to have the dignity of work without upsetting Adrian. So he's like, I gotta go read, and I don't want to be a nobody, I don't want to be a bum. So he reckons he has to get himself a proper job. And it's actually amazing to think that Rocky Balboa, a former heavyweight championship contender in 1976, has essentially the exact same experience as most graduates have these days when trying to find a job.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Come down like, I got nothing going on here. All I got is my 2-1. I got a 6-month unpaid internship. I've done a lot of unpaid freelance work as well. I got a lot of references, but I can't get no job. I guess I'm not, I don't know. I'm not old. I can't get a job because I haven't already had a job for 20 years.
I can relate to Rocky's situation here. He goes from office to office trying to get a job, and they keep either turning him back and saying, you'd be better off doing some manual labour, mate. And he's not turning his nose up at manual labour, but he's just saying, I want to get a job in an office sitting down like you guys. Or they're telling him, you should go fight. I've heard you're a good fighter. He doesn't want to do that either.
No, he doesn't.
No.
And he ends up settling for like a job that's almost like it's below what he was doing at the start of Rocky. Just working down the meat factory with Paulie,
He was beating meat, and now he's treating meat, Is this thing on?
For a little treat, he'll beat the meat afterwards, He'll go back to beating it after treating it, know? Oh, what a treat. We get a montage of him just working hard, and there's lots of people call quitting time, and he works a little bit extra.
Yeah.
He's grafting away at this job, and I'm happy anytime we get to see lengthy shots in an abattoir of large joints of meat being coated up in plastic and stuff. That's great.
Absolutely, yes, please. Yeah, he's a hard worker. He's a diligent worker. He's an honest, good man.
Which means he loses his job.
Which means because he's not been there long enough, because he's not senior enough, he gets fired.
And then he's basically selling the car to Paulie, who looks to be doing better than Rocky at his old job of being a debt collector. I mean, he's had a lot of experience threatening and being abusive to his sister, so he's got to translate those skills into the world of crime, I guess.
At least he's got transferable skills, that's the thing, unfortunately. When Rocky sells his car to Paulie says, where you going now? Do you need a lift? And you can tell, that Rocky has sort of thought, oh shit, yeah.
I've not thought of this through.
But he goes, just
I like to walk the 3 miles from the docks to the rest of civilization. It's cool. So he tells Adrian that he's been canned. He's down working out in the basement. He says he wants to fight again, and it's funny that everyone makes out that Adrian's like, no, if you fight again, I'll kill you. She doesn't even say I don't want you to fight again. She's just like, I'm worried. You're gonna lose your sight. Your eye is so bad that the next time you fight, you're not gonna be able to see again. And he goes, no, man, I'm good. I can see all kinds of good, Adrian. I could see like a beagle. Is that a particularly well-known
I don't
dog
know that they can...
for size? Or did Rocky think eagle, like a size of an eagle?
Eagle-eyed.
He said beagle because he likes dogs.
I mean, at this point, we don't know which one is more likely, but...
Now, Sam, I'm just feeling now we're not going to be able to leave the house anymore pretty much the same way, because I'm going to be walking down the streets thinking, is there, a long ways away, a very, very astute beagle with an eye on me, looking at me? And you know what the thing is as well? I don't even know if he's a good boy or not. I don't even know. He could be a terrible dog giving me the fucking stink eye from half a yard away and I wouldn't even know.
That's the one main takeaway from this film, is that beagles can fucking see.
They can.
They can look at you.
They can see things coming, you know?
Adrian considers going back to the pet shop, and Rocky's main issue with this is that what if she gets some kind of pet shop disease?
She could. Literally, she could.
Yeah? There are all sorts of pet shop diseases. I guess, well, you bring animals into one place. If just one of those has got something wrong with it.
I'm telling you, it's back in the 70s as well, before political correctness went mad, and there'd probably be shit everywhere.
Right. Before PC culture, there was just shit everywhere, and that was allowed.
Everywhere.
And we were glad of it.
And we were happy. And we would say, Mom, I'm going out to play in a big pile of shit on the floor. Good. Good.
It's good for your immune system.
It is, it's good.
Yeah.
What these days? Apps, is it? Filters, huh?
Did you hear that thing about McDonald's?
They don't pay their workers fair.
No, well, there's that. But you know the...
Yeah, I heard.
You know the big plinths where you can press to do your order?
Yes, I'm aware of those.
Giant tablets.
I've used one in Burger King.
Yeah. Same concept.
Where it struggles with the concept of letting it have it your way, which is the actual, brand name of Burger King, which is difficult.
I think pretty much all McDonald's now have these big, giant tablets that you go and you press your order and you do it like that. They tested a bunch of those, and every single one they tested had traces of poo on it.
Oh, great.
But I'm still I would prefer not to talk to a human if at all possible. I'm willing to roll the dice if it means less social interaction, and that's,
It could be a lady or a lord's poo. It could be very fancy poo.
Yeah.
They didn't say. It could be the good kinds. You never know.
I'm sure there's probably poo on everything.
No, there isn't.
Well...
That's why we have flash wipes.
That's what you choose to believe.
Yeah, you choose to believe there's shit everywhere.
I'm a poo-earther, I just believe that there's just... And that's my belief, and you can't change that.
Yeah, that's it. Sam believes that there is an additional very thin outer layer to the crust of the earth, which is a very thin crust of shit. A light, wafer thin, crispy layer. Like a dusting of praline.
I was going to say that, I like Marmite on toast, but only a little bit. Only just a nice little one thin layer. And that's just, there's one of that on the edge of the earth.
I like my Marmite thick. I like it flavour country. Yeah.
No, just enough that I can taste it.
Sticky. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
So, he's got nowhere to go, nothing to do. He does want to train to fight, so he goes back to his old trainer. He heads then to Mick's gym. Oh, where's my locker, Mick? Is it out on Skid Row? No, it's not. It's wherever you want it to be, because everyone here thinks he's pretty much a god, and he's making out I'll do anything. I'll sweep up, whatever it is. I just want to be. He says it a few times where I can't be away from it, and it's even if I can't fight, I need to be around boxing because it's such a big part of who I am.
Yeah.
And Mick is you don't want to do that because everyone here respects you so much. If you're just gonna walk around and be cleaning up after people, it's gonna lower your value and lower what little credibility and standing you have. You'll lose what you've gained by losing so much already by fighting Apollo.
I think you meant just having some dignity here.
Yeah.
But I think after Caveman Gate, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it?
No,
he's past that point.
If they air that ad of all the bloopers, maybe that'll be particularly bad for his career.
Mick talks to him about the possibility of fighting Apollo and kind of tells him not to do it. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, and it's because of his bum eye.
Because he'll hurt you poiminent. He'll hurt you poiminent.
Poiminent TSB. Banking only better. That's... We're getting all the bangers today. All the great classic ads, Yeah, he does the kind of little test with him, which is like, look, tell me when you can see my finger. So he's kind of trying to test the peripheral vision because Rocky's eye is so fucked up. He's got that meaty eye now. And Rocky lies to say he can see it, and then like Mickey just slaps him on the side of the head. He's like, if I was able to hit you, do you imagine what Apollo Creed is going to do to you?
Yeah.
Now, really interesting thing about this, and it's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, which is they want to retrain Rocky to fight with his right side as opposed to his left side. And that the whole idea is because his eye is so bad and he can't lead with his left anymore, go for the left side, he has to pivot to the right and catch Apollo off guard. But apparently the only reason that was is because during training for the movie, the build up to it, Stallone actually injured his left hand legitimately when he was working out. So he couldn't actually box with his left hand. That's why he had to do the right hand for it. And they just wrote it in as a storyline so he could have all the shot later of him fighting with his right hand. Otherwise he wouldn't have been able to do it. So yeah.
You would have never known, would you?
You would. Very skillfully written in, I think. Very well done.
You know the whole, like, looking at the finger thing?
Yeah.
And you know how I've got a wonky eye?
Yeah.
Because I was a little meningitis baby. I had plenty of operations, can't look as far left as I can look right.
That was a Elton John song, wasn't it?
Well, I've got a wonky eye.
No. Hold me closer, little meningitis, baby. Hold me...
Yeah, does that mean I can't be a boxer?
I don't know, because, like, you were a little meningitis baby. I was straight up premature, lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we could go in and turn the fucking boxing world on its head, Sam.
Yeah.
On its fucking head.
I don't need to see it. I'm just going to flail my arms around.
I came out fighting out of the womb early, you know? I couldn't ready to get in the ring. I came out a month before I was meant to, because I was ready to go, goddammit. I came out in a fighting stance as well, with my left foot stepped forward, you know?
Apollo is in a business meeting at this point, and he wants his match with Rocky. He's been reading more hate comments. He's been getting more riled up.
And his team are trying to manage him. They're trying to kind of say, like, no, he got lucky. Let it go. It's okay. But when he twists their arm, they're like, well, you know, he came close to beating you, and honestly, you could do without it, you know, him coming close to beating you again even. So maybe just move on to some fresh meat, as they say.
That's not what he wants to hear, though. He doesn't want to hear them say, the reason why we don't want to do this is not because of money, it's not because of anything, it's because he could have beaten you and we don't want you to get beat. That's what tips me. It's like, after that, there's no way he's not boxing Rocky. You know what I'm saying?
And I just kind of feel that Apollo is the kind of guy that when he's got a good PR campaign in his mind, you can't hold him back. His mind is made up. He loves the publicity. The master of disaster. Imagine him, Sam, with social media. He'd be fucking insufferable, this lad. He'd be so good at it as well. That's the thing.
The memes he'd be making.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like the meme he releases in the Boxing Times when everyone's reading about all of the raids in the paper. The stallion chicken. Why? The stallion chicken. It's the Italian stallion. Call him the Italian chicken because in the picture he is a chicken. But no, the stallion chicken. Some sort of fucking upsetting chimera like BoJack Horseman if a fucking horse and a chicken had sex and made
Jesus. Stallion chicken.
Four-legged stallion chicken. I don't want no horse eggs.
Oh God, Jesus.
Now, granted, they probably have grey instead of white, like, you know, fucking horrible.
But I mean, Rocky kind of shakes it off at first. He looks and goes, "Oh, it's kind of funny, ain't it?" You know, he's not rising, he's not biting.
But his feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
And that's what, there's so many times in this movie, and it always happens with Rocky, where people are laughing at him, and even though it's never like, oh, people are laughing at him and he's too dumb to know the big Aegis. He's actually a lot more perceptive of people than you would think, given how kind of clumsy he is and how a bit slow that he is. And every time there's someone laughing at him, or like kind of mocking him or tittering at him behind his back, he looks up straight away, and god damn it, Sylvester Stallone hasn't got the saddest fucking eyes in the world. Like, it's like, oh, this poor fucking big-hearted meathead is taken all of this to his very big heart, and it's very sad, and he never rises up to it.
No.
He never goes over. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he could kill those. It's always the boys on the corner with wine lips are the ones tittering at Rocky, and he never goes for him.
Well, there's that lad in the gym who spits in the spit bucket. It's like, hey, you got something tougher to say than oh? And Rocky's like, oh, nope.
Well, I was going to say, oh, shucks, but I thought that wasn't tough, you know, but whatever. So, back at Rocky's house, we get a Cuff and Link sighting. Hey, the boys.
I'm glad they're still around.
Yeah, you know what? I think Cuff and Link should sit alongside Colin Cum as, like, you know, Cinema Swirl favourites.
Yeah.
Cuff and Link are OTPs together. Apollo, on the telly, cuts a promo on Rocky Balboa, and Sam, he calls him every name under the sun. He calls him the Italian scallion. No one calls my man Rocky an onion. No one know how. You take that back. My man's a leek, you motherfucker. He's a strong, hearty leek. He is not a scallion.
No, I think, to quote Shrek, he is like an onion, because he's got layers, you know? He's a multifaceted person with a deep personality.
Honestly, yeah. And as Shrek also once said, Sam, somebody once told me, the world is going to roll me because I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Seems very apt.
Yeah. You know? As Adrian got a finger and a thumb and a shape of an L on her forehead. We don't know.
No.
Stay tuned for Rocky 3.
She does have a top that says baby and an arrow pointing down to her tummy, which is great. I
think that's to help everyone on board, like, you know, so no one forgets, like, you know, wake up like, yo, Adrian, what, you eat loads or something? What's going on? Like, no, remember the baby? Oh, yeah, okay.
Apollo could cut a fucking promo, can't he?
Yes, love it. He's very much meant to be the Muhammad Ali type of character, I think, where he's just like the lightning speed lips and tongue with the fucking killer verbiage matched up by the showmanship in the ring. I love him. And honestly, I know we've released this around the time of Creed 2. I've not seen Creed yet, and I want to see Creed and Creed 2. And that's, I'm assuming you figured that's the lineage of it, is that, you know, Creed in the Creed movies is son of Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
And I kind of am excited to see that with, you know, old man Rocky Balboa. Oh man, it's going to be good stuff.
I think he's the Mick of that film.
Yeah, pretty much. At that point, he is, yeah. So, Rocky wants to fight. Kind of depressing. He tells Adrian, it's all I know. And he says, I don't gonna stop you from being a woman. You ain't gonna stop me from being a man.
Yeah.
Because we all know being a man means boxing.
Getting punched in the face loads of times to prove a point.
Yeah.
There's this little theme of kind of masculinity, the idea of being a man and a provider that kind of comes into this a few times. He does get quite upset that he's not the one who's able to bring in the money. Which
he has this idea in his head that he's going to take Adrian away from this world and give her a better life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when they're talking about having a kid, it's like, they're really excited because it's like, oh, the kid's going to be like, not like us. It's, you know, kid's not going to have to be shy like I was. Or, you know, the kid's not going to have to be, you know, stupid like I was. They're going to do well in school. They're going to get singing and dancing lessons. And it's kind of sad just to kind of think that Rocky feels like he's going backwards and he's not been able to help Adrian's lot in life at all because she still has to work in a pet shop. The only difference is now she's fucking pregnant, which is like not a great look for working in a pet shop. You should not have to fucking haul oats and shit.
No. So we get a press conference now, don't we? The fight's on. Fight's happening.
Favourite scene in the movie. I love this. So the match is going to take place. The fight is going to take place in November in Philadelphia, Rocky's hometown, in the ZX Spectrum, which is good. It's only 10 minutes from Rocky's home, he says.
He's cracking wise.
He is, but he doesn't even know he's cracking wise. And he's so nice as well. They're like, you got any derogatory comments about the champ, Rock? And, yeah, he's great.
He's sweet, and everyone seems behind him. Everyone's still... You forget at this point that even though his life is a little bit shambolic at this point and he's not got a job or anything, there's still a lot of goodwill behind Rocky from the general public.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you're only seeing this through Rocky's eyes, and Rocky don't watch the news and read the paper every day, and Rocky don't talk about his career with people all the time. So, like, you get snippets of it that the journalists and the media are reporting it like he's the American dream come true and all that, and it's going to happen again. And it was an underdog story before, obviously, but because he became so close, it's like kind of like, here's an underdog story that you can all get on board with now because he came super close before. Yeah. And I know Philadelphia, with its sporting history, has got like, there's a reason why Rocky kind of is very emblematic of Philadelphia as a city, is because it's a city that's come very, very close to winning a lot of like big championships and whatnot. They're always the underdog in many respects. It's known as the fighting city, Philadelphia. So he's very much like the son of Philadelphia. I think Rocky is more beloved than any actual real sporting figure that came. Honestly, there's a statue of Rocky in Philly, like, and people make fun of it. It's like, you've got a real fucking athletes.
Mickey does a kind of promo here as well, and he's encouraging Rocky while he's got the match projected onto him. That's great. That's kind of like Willy Wonka tunnel scene type shit there. I love that.
What, Mick's going to have an ironic death for all of Rocky's opponents? Is that it? Apollo Creed's going to get crushed by a giant promotional image of Apollo Creed?
Mick can get very passionate, can't he? He can really go for it.
He goes from 0 to 20 in like 5 seconds, always. He says that the strategy to beat him is going to be to go with the right hand. So he's going to be, I don't know, north paw this time instead of south paw. He's going to knock him for 6, and the only way he's going to beat him is he's got to have greasy, fast, lightning speed. He's got to eat lightning, he's got to crap thunder, he's got to chase some chickens. Now, I know a lot of people out there suffer silently with IBS, but if you are eating lightning, and that's going to affect your diet, you are going to crap thunder, you know? Yeah. Try eat thunder and crap lightning. It's much better for you. It's much easier on the digestive system. Just consider it.
Which one's which?
What, thunder or lightning?
Yeah.
Thunder is the rain. Lightning is the arrow.
Oh, thank you.
You've played Mario Kart, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Yeah. But I was too busy winning to think about all the other shit.
Yeah, you're just 9 miles away in your boring fucking cart that you always pick. Like.
It's a bike.
Mario Kart is a game where you just drive on your own and intermittently get small and big sometimes. That's the Sam Chaplin Mario Kart experience. They do the Switch ads of Sam playing and winning, like, oh, this is great, like, you know, no hassle from anyone else. It's like Skate, really. It's a solo experience.
Exactly. I want to get as far away from everyone else as possible. My only friend is that blue shell that keeps coming to say hi every now and then.
But he keeps tipping me over. No, friend, you got to be more careful.
Rocky feels like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. That's a pretty snappy line coming from Rocky.
He's a funny guy, that Rocky.
Funny guy. He needs to get on that stage, do some more of those jokes.
I'm telling you, that's before the time runs out, before the grains in your sunglasses go out. I'm just saying, Rocky, you could do it. You could make the Creed spin-off. Apollo Creed, I think he's training what appears to be the UK Foreign Office. It's like this very lush, palatial building with loads of like marble arches and columns and plush red carpets. I love the contrast between the two. Everywhere where Apollo is training, there's carpeted floors, and he's playing a soundtrack of people going, Apollo, because that's what he thinks that helps him visualize. And then Rocky's just in this dirty gym, you know?
It's very stark, the contrast, the cuts between the two. It's maybe a little bit obvious of a sequence, but it works great. It's just like, here's the really great guy training in a fancy place. Here's Rocky struggling in a gym and not doing very well.
And this is cool to see Apollo, like, kind of scared in a weird way. He's, like, way more intense. He's way more, like, amped up than he was in the previous movie because he's taken Rocky 100% seriously because he knows it's his reputation that's on the line now because he's the one making all the noise. And as Rocky is training, I love when this is what Mickey says he's going to do, and the strategy is when he's eating lightning and crapping thunder, he's going to pound the sass out of him. Because that is Apollo's real power, is the sass that he's got going inside him there.
Get that sass out of him, and then, it's like Samson and his hair. It's Apollo and his sass.
He needs his sass.
Once he loses the sass, he's on his ass.
Unfortunately, Rocky's a little bit shit and underwhelming at the moment. His head ain't screwed on right, and it's probably because he feels really bad and guilty about Adrian having to work and him not being able to provide for her and him feeling bad that she doesn't want him to fight and he's doing it anyway. Yeah. So Paulie is like, don't worry, leave it to me. I'll go and make sure that she has a premature birth.
Yeah, I mean...
Now, I know what you're thinking, guys and girls at home, thinking, oh, Sam Chaplin and Kevin Mann here, a couple of stone-cold foxes. We should all aim for premature births. No, don't.
No.
Okay? We
That's
may
not
have
the goal.
become big, strong boys since then, but at the start, it was scary. Do you know what happened when I was born? Was my parents were waiting for you, and the doctors are looking at me, and none went over with, what do you want to name him? Because they're like, he's going to be dead now, so, you might as well give it a name. Because you wouldn't want him to be called like Untitled Man Project or something like that. You don't want him listed in the graveyard as various artists,
So Paulie's he's gone over to basically be a dick to Adrian and say,
I hate him so much
that Rocky's not got his head in the game. You're making him sad. And she's not. I don't think she is. I think...
She's not. No, it's everyone puts it on her. They blame her because they think, oh, well, Rocky... This thing is, people assume that Rocky couldn't have empathy and Rocky couldn't actually just feel bad for the situation he's put her in.
But he does. He's doing it himself.
Yeah, they're assuming he's being nagged, and no, he's not, because she's too good for all of them.
So she has the baby, but the baby's fine, but she's slipped into a coma because of blood loss, right?
Yes, so she's in dangerous territory, let's just say. So Rocky is taking Adrian being in a coma especially bad. He's blaming himself. He's like, oh, you're just sleepy. It's okay. You sleep all you want. I'll be here when you wake up. And he's spending all his time in the hospital. When he gets kicked out of visitation, he just goes to the chapel. Mick goes and visits him. You can tell Mick is really cares for him because he spends a good 10 seconds before he starts shouting at him again. Stop praying, you're a bum.
We see Rocky cry when he's visiting Adrian. That's heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing performance by Stallone.
Yeah. It's great. It's sad, though.
We get, like, another montage, but this time it's like a montage of, like, grief and processing and Rocky reading books to her. And that's great, because, like, later on, the later movies, it's, like, the thing that Rocky reads. Like, you know, he always has a book on the go type of thing, and he's reading there. He always seems to want to be trying to prove his value and his worth to her, I guess. He even writes her a poem.
Yeah.
And it's shit.
Yeah, but it's adorably shit. He's a sweet man. He's a sweet, lovely man.
She finally wakes up, and he didn't want to see the baby until she was awake. He wanted them to see the baby together, which is...
very nice.
It is nice. Everyone's like, yeah, you should probably see him though, Rocky. I mean, come on.
I did kind of think when there was this whole montage of, like, him visiting and reading and stuff, I'm like, where's the fucking baby? Like, what's
I tell you where the fucking baby was, Sam. That baby was off growing a full head of hair.
That baby was off in the early 2000s emo scene, growing like a proper fucking fringe and everything.
Fucking hell, that baby looks like Gizmo. It's so fucking hairy. It's absurd. It is unbelievable. No wonder she went into a coma. He sapped all the nutrients out of her and gave himself a full head of hair and, like, fucking knocked her out.
I love it. That baby looks kind of cool. He's basically got a haircut, you know?
Do you think that Stallone was like, oh, the baby don't look like me. Maybe if you give him my hair, like, you know.
Put a little wristband on him with some spikes on it. And play, oh, well, yeah, there we go. It's me.
Can we give that baby a killer left jab? I think it'll read better as Rocky's baby then.
Little jacket with a tiny baby tiger on the back of it.
I'm pretty sure you can get those.
Those would be great.
So, Adrian, she's there with Rocky. She looks straight away. She's like, you need rest. You look fucking terrible. And he's like, look, I'm not going to do this fight. You know, this is setting me straight. Ain't going to do it. And she's like, Rocky, do me one favor. Win.
And he runs off and doesn't realise that she was going to follow that with the lottery. We've got no other options. We've run out of fucking money. Please do something.
Yeah, seriously, Rocky, you can keep running away from your commitment. It's still your son, Rocky. You have to face up to it. You can run away. Look, all those children are following you as if to say, come on, go back. Go back to your child.
I love that shit. I love the proper training montage now. We get the good one. We get the good one.
Catches the chicken.
Yeah, catches the chicken. He's basically the Pied Piper of boxing. All the kids are running after him. It's great. It is. It doesn't quite make sense as to why all the kids would be around and just running after him, but I
think it's because he's just a local hero. It's like the way, the way Chris Eubank drives around Brighton in his big truck, Rocky running around Philly. It's the same thing, you know. You see him, it's like, oh, there he is.
The closest thing that I've got to that is when I went to go and see Pete Doherty once, and he had a habit of, like, he turned up very late to the gig.
Is that because I heard that he had a bit of an addiction now, Pete, didn't he? And I saw some pictures on the internet. He eats them really big breakfasts, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and the toll that it took on the man, oh my goodness.
Yes.
How many of those does he put away a week, I wonder?
Well, that's the thing. That's what he was doing backstage. He was just having a big breakfast, and it took a bit longer than we thought.
The excess of these fucking rock stars sickens me. The absolute excess. You did go in and Pete Doherty, he'd just have loads of bacon. It wouldn't even be cooked, just lying around there, gathering smell.
So
waste.
Pete Doherty, Big Breakfast Pete Doherty, was late for the gig, and so the gig was kind of cut short because there was a curfew, and he just went straight out of the venue to the outside. And he has made a habit in his career of, like, doing, like, house shows or just playing acoustically in the street and just doing weird stuff like that. And so we all kind of followed him outside and just went to see where he was going. A big crowd of people all following this bloke. And he wasn't going to be playing a gig or anything. He just wanted to get home. He was trying to get into a taxi. But we all just kind of followed him around. And that was the closest I've got to that. Just like a big crowd of people following one dude. But he looked a bit more confused than Rocky did here. He was not sure why this was happening.
It's time for Super Fight 2.
Yeah.
And backstage, Apollo's people are hyping him up. Old people love you. Young people love you. He's a bum. Show him who you are. Show him who you are. Show him who you are. Fucking hell. Well, do it for the old people.
I kind of wanted the film to end after the really nice training montage. It just like a static shot fades out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on a high now, you know.
Even though it is essentially, like you said, it's the montage is almost identical in ways to the first movie.
It's the same fucking film, Kevin.
I mean, you got chicken instead of red meat this time, so admit it's a bit healthy. Yeah. But it is very similar. I understand. If you're going to do a Rocky marathon and watch all the Rocky movies back to back, this would probably grate you a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Rocky responsibly.
It's like, eating sweets. If you have the whole bag to yourself in one go, you're going to have a uppy tummy. If you have them as a rare treat every now and then, very enjoyable. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't take too much advice from a man who doesn't like crispy M&Ms, because you're just like...
Oh, no, I don't. The worst M&Ms.
Yeah, but it's pretty much like saying, like, hi, everyone, I'm a racist. Here are my thoughts on the current political... I don't want to hear... No. It is. You are immediately disqualifying you from being part of the equation.
Has this been brought up on the podcast before, my M&M thing?
A free speech shouldn't extend to your right to spread your hate about crispy M&Ms.
Right, well... I'm gonna say it. They're bad.
Okay, you know what? I'm so fucking goddamn sure of this. You know what? No. This is what it's gonna be.
Are the only good M&Ms.
What?
Okay.
You know what? This is it, right? This is the fucking wager now. This is what's going to happen.
Might have to censor that in the edit, because that's too inflammatory.
This is what's going to happen here right now, okay?
He's pointing his finger at me.
I am, right down the barrel.
Yeah.
We're going to put a vote up on Cinema Swirl. Twitter. Listen to me. Twitter.com/Cinema Swirl.
Yeah, that's...
Facebook.com/Cinema Swirl. No, none of the cute shit now. We're talking business, okay? All right? And you will ask the question. It will be a simple question.
Can we go back to talking about Rocky? I'm scared.
No. We answer the simple question, which is, are crispy M&Ms nice? Yes or no? Okay? And if people vote no, congratulations, you're right. I will respect the will of the people. All right? I don't wish to frustrate the will of the people. But if people admit that crispy M&Ms are nicer, or crispy M&Ms are nice and not yucky...
Whoa. What's the question here? Is it, are they nice, or are they nicer than chocolate?
Are they nice?
Well, I mean, they're not.
Okay, well, see, there you go. It's yes or no. If they say they're not nice, fine, you win. They say they're nice, we do another Lord of the Rings movie. And if that's not fair, I don't know what is.
Chris Finch over here.
What? What? Is that not...
You've thrown a kettle over a pub. There's your quiz. That's the real quiz.
Listen. Right now, all around the world, there are people listening to this episode of Cinema Swirl going, yes! And they're putting down their crispy M&Ms, and they're getting ready for some fucking Tolkien. And if you're going to put your money where your mouth is...
Well, you know what, Kevin? I bet the people who like crispy M&Ms are Lord of the Rings fans. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, here you go, right? Yeah.
But that's not a compliment.
I know you want me to stop banging on about Frodo, yeah? And I will, provided you give me this referendum, okay?
Right.
And we can discuss the wording of it closer to the date. But that's fair. That's the only thing I can say.
Okay, because I mean, you're making this about whether they're nice or not, but I'm saying that they're worse than chocolate M&Ms.
But you said, no, you're backtracking here now.
Hold on. Right, I think they're bad, okay?
There you go.
But at the very least, I want to establish that chocolate M&Ms are the best ones in it, and crispy M&Ms are worse than that.
Is that
what you're arguing?
No.
Are you arguing they're the best ones?
I'm arguing that they're fabulous in their own way.
Right.
And they're absolutely brilliant. And the crispy M&Ms are a delight.
They're not, though.
And if someone brought me a bag of M&Ms, I'd be happy, yes. But someone brought me a bag of crispy M&Ms, I would be delighted, because they are a delightful candy.
Right.
And we can work out the wording of this. This, I think, is going to be the referendum of the generation.
If someone bought me a bag of crispy M&Ms, I'd open it and then pour it into the bin.
Oh my... All right. You can stop your fucking defamatory comments right now, okay?
Let's stop the podcast. This is over.
Yeah, we've got a movie. Actually, it'd be disrespectful for Sylvester Stallone for you to continue with that tone. That you bring here to this podcast.
All right.
How dare you continue with that tone?
Right, well, we've got a bit more of this fucking film to get through. But
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, yo, Father Carmine, I'm going to do a boxing. Can you give me a blessing?
Hey.
And then padre, and then it does give a quick little drive-by blessing.
It's nice, isn't it?
Tell me now, do Protestants do the blessings, or is that like not kosher?
No, we just pre-fight. We just down a load of tiffin.
Yeah,
Get all full of tiffin.
get all fucked up on tiffin, like.
And then get into the ring with a big full belly full of tiffin. Can't punch through that, can you?
He's tiffin mad and raisin strong. We can't stop him. Rocky on the way to the ring for the fight of his life. Oh, I got a bit of a headache. Hey, you think my robe? It's kind of cute. I like my cute robe.
It is cute, though.
It is. It's very, very cute.
It is cute.
Rocky chants fill the spectrum, and I love this. It's like it's phased for Apollo. He's expecting the people to love him because he is the master of disaster. And am I not your master of disaster? Cheer for me. So we get the fight, and again, I love the choreography of the fights. I love the cinematography. I love the quick cuts. There's a lot more use of slow-mo in these fights.
Yeah.
Where did this rank up with you compared to the first movie? Did you find yourself enjoying this?
I definitely think they've upped their game in terms of the fight sequence here. In some ways, I've kind of said that this is a bit similar to the first one, but some things they've definitely improved, and the fighting choreography and the whole sequence of the way it's shot it pips it a bit here, I think, personally.
Did you think that Rocky was going to win?
I suspected. I thought it would be, from a booking point of view, strange to have two either
Draws or
funny finishes or draws or a loss. It might be narratively interesting to have another loss, but it wouldn't, I don't know, it would just be too much of a downer, I think.
Yeah, Philly needs a win now and then.
Yeah.
So Rock just gets the shit knocked out of him pretty much over and over and over and over. It's like Homer Simpson. Like, I mean, does that episode of The Simpsons make a lot more sense? I'm imagining
A lot more sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Those slow-mo punches look pretty authentic and brutal, don't they?
Yeah.
And the wavy mouth.
I love in between rounds, like the things that they're saying to each other. Like Apollo's full of, he's getting all sassed up. He's fucking coked up, dancing around. On the other corner, Rocky's just like, whoa, that guy's great. And I broke my nose again.
He's still the same guy, even in this situation,
Yeah.
He's always Rocky.
Back home, Adrian and Paulie are watching on the TV with insightful comments like, just hit him.
Yeah, hit him.
I mean, that's all I would shout in the...
I think that's...
I
seems to remember last time, that's what somebody in the crowd shouted. They're like, hit him. I'm like, if you're a boxer and someone said hit him, we just fuck it. I remember that.
I'm here with the champ after a 12-round drag-out brawl. It got to the knockout in the 12. Champ, what did you do? Well, it clicked for me when someone said hit him. It was a real aha moment. I've been going around doing origami, fucking dancing, whittling shit, and then I thought I'd spark him out, mate. Is what I do, yeah.
So it gets to the last round.
Yeah, and Mickey's like, you gotta switch up now, because Mickey wanted him to switch from the right hand, which he was using, back to the left.
Suddenly throw him off.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I don't want to win with no tricks. I want to win straight, like. And I like that.
Apollo's guys are saying, you'd win on points at this point. Do not go for the knockout. Stay away from him and you'll win.
Yeah.
But
he can't. He can't.
He wants to knock him down in his hometown and humiliate him.
The master of disaster, more like the Maharaja of hubris, if you're talking to me.
He doesn't just want a points victory. He wants a knockout victory.
He has to knock him out, otherwise he's proved absolutely nothing. Yeah. The constant shots to Tony, the mob guy, I don't understand why. It's like he's going, hey, Rocky, yay!
He doesn't feel like that much of a significant character for that many cuts to him in the audience.
Do it for organised crime!
I guess because Paulie and Adrian aren't there, and Mick's by the ringside, you need some person from Rocky's life in the crowd to cut to, and he's the only one left.
Come on, Rocky! Break his will like you broke many of my clients' thumbs. Both men get knocked down after a complete flurry of 1 trillion punches. We get the double 10 count spot, and then Rocky makes it to his feet at 9. Apollo goes down again at 8. Rocky wins!
Hey!
Hey, everyone's freaking out. Yo, Adrian! I did it, so I did.
Aww.
Da 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 da.
Apollo raises his hand as well.
Very good. Classy man.
Very good. Yeah, I think he's earned the respect of Apollo Creed there.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
No? Has he not?
Seriously. No. They have. They've earned the respect.
Right.
But they've earned respect at a level of interpersonal comfort and friendship that makes me really want to watch Rocky 3 with you.
Do they become mates? Don't tell me. Okay,
I won't tell you.
All right.
Ooh, Sam. Okay. Firstly, we did point out a lot that Rocky 2 was pretty much almost, in many ways, very similar to Rocky 1. They pounded this one out quite swiftly in many ways.
Yeah.
However, this is viewed in the same way it would have been when it came out, like a couple of years after Rocky 1. So you had a bit of a chance to cool down on it and revisit this and go for the underdog story again.
Yeah.
How does Rocky 2 measure up for you? Because I had a fucking whale of a time watching this movie.
Yeah, it was good fun, It was good. It was a feel-good film. It
is, that's it. It feels fucking so damn good. Oh, the sports movie, and we talked about the main beats of the Karate Kid movie, where it's like, person needs to overcome some obstacles to get to the big fight. The big fight comes and things scare them along the way, but then they do it. And I think it's all the thrills of that, but just such a fucking likable guy in Rocky. It's such a lovely performance by all the supporting cast again.
It's formulaic, but it's a good formula, and there's a reason why that formula works and tastes so yummy,
Yes.
It fills you up, it leaves you satisfied, you feel good. And that's what I got with this film. And I was delighted to enter into the world of Rocky and Adrian and their fucking weird chemistry that somehow works perfectly.
The somehow even better soundtrack in this movie.
Yes, there's a better soundtrack. That ambulance scene at the start, the music there, I'm going to look that up and listen to that probably right after this, because I want...
Yeah, I'm going for that Rocky soundtrack on vinyl, I think. Yeah. I want that...
Oh, is it catchphrase?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like late 70s synth. It's just... it's game show buzzer noises.
Wait till you see Rocky 3 when he takes on Mr. Chips. That guy don't fucking take shit from no one. He's a killer, Rock. He's in all these anagrams, and you don't care who he confuses.
So yeah, I mean, I had a similarly great time. Pretty much the same level of great time. I'm not sure if it's a better or worse film. It's kind of the same vibe I got from it. It's good. It's comforting.
Sequels never manage to do this, do they? Where it's like, here's the same thing again. Pretty much.
And you fucking eat it up.
You know what this is? This is The Force Awakens. It's like, here's the exact formula, how you love it, tweaked a little bit, with more newer music.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not even a different opponent, Yeah. You don't even get a different, big boss at the end. It's the same guy, building up to the same fight with the same guy, but it works.
Yeah, and the only reason the fight is really, really different and then he works right-handed is because of an injury on set. So
yeah, so if there hadn't been that injury, it would have been basically the same fight.
Yeah, they could have put on the same movie and I would have noticed.
It's fucking great, isn't it?
Do you want to see Rocky 3?
Yeah, I do now.
Do you know who's in Rocky 3?
No.
Clubber Lang. Does that name ring a bell?
Clubber Lang?
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang. You never heard of Clubber Lang?
No, not heard of Clubber Lang.
Well, I pity the fool, i.e. you.
Oh.
Shut on Far T. Or Mr. T as he's known in English.
Is Clubber Lang the character?
It is, yes.
Played by Mr. T.
Yes.
Mr. T in Rocky 3, say ye.
Diddly fucking D-I-D, indeed.
Well, me want to see Rocky 3 if Mr. T be in it.
Sam, final thoughts on Rocky 2. You said it was similar, but you had a good time, and you want to see Rocky 3. How did the second installment in the behemoth Rocky franchise that now includes, if you're talking with Creed, a whopping 8 fucking movies?
Fucking hell.
Where does number 2 rank up for you?
What did I give the first one? I think it was 4, right?
I think you gave it 4, yeah.
I'm going to go with another 4, because it's the same, but it's great. But I still like it. It's
there you go.
Chocolate ice cream. I've had another spoonful. It's still delicious. So, yes, please. 4-star wide.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Oh, hello. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin. It was edited by me, Sam, and the music was also by me. Remember, you can like us over on Facebook at facebook.com/cinemaswirl. You can follow us on Twitter. That's @cinemaswirl. And if you've got any questions, queries, comments, or other stuff, you can send it on over to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Remember, if you haven't already, to subscribe on iTunes or whichever podcast thing you use. And if you like the show, leave a review. And if you want to help us out, recommend us to a friend. Until next time, thanks for listening. Bye. Very good Seinfeld noises there. Go on, one more. One clean take. I'll let you have one. Go on. You can do this. Or just one pop.
Okay, here we go. All right.